Bjorn, why don't you kick us off? Because I don't know what's going on.
Okay, well, welcome to the No Pilot pilot of the new YouTube series we're going to be conducting, where we all bring our own little topics, bullshit, and kind of just talk about things that interest us. We don't have a name for it yet, but we're in the same broadcasting network as the Obtainable Freedom Project. So we've got Dane Tornis. Hi, Dane.
Hey, Bjorn. I'm
And
here.
Luke Reingart.
Howdy.
Hi, Luke. We're gonna have to come up with some handles or cool sayings or something. And then we got me, Bjorn Tornis. So I guess I'm not sure who. Dane, you said you didn't want to start the bullshit, so I'll start the bullshit. I just had a baby daughter, a little girl. So I think I'm gonna be focusing on some fatherhood, parenting aspects. I know that sounds super cool, but both of you guys have kids, so I'm looking to learn from you guys and just maybe talk about some of my experiences and mistakes and questions and things like that. So
Well, next time we got to plan this, pre-plan a little bit, because that was my topic. No, but I brought two of them. I brought two topics.
I thought you were going to talk
good.
about and politics and things that made you mad.
Well, that too. I mean, we can do that too.
But you had us give like the topics that we each wanted to talk about. Like, I thought you clearly saw which ones I put in there.
I don't pay attention to what you say.
It just stole my homework.
All right. Well, before we started recording, Luke said something pretty interesting about his boat launch.
Oh, I thought you
phobia.
Like started recording yet. I was just like, what the fuck did I just do?
Oh, yeah. So my topic was going to be weird phobias. Like there's like normal ones. People are scared of stuff like, oh, what do you say? Like spiders and the dark, and things like that. But do you want me to get into my topic now, or
no, dude, I just wanted to like give a trailer of what you'd be talking about at a different time. That's why I brought it up.
So my weird phobia that I have, and I've talked to Bjorn about it several times, not often, but it's boat launches, like the big giant boats, like cruise ships and things like that. They scare me. Like I figure, like when I see a video of one.
What do you mean by boat launch?
Okay.
When you put the boat into the water.
When the boat goes into the water and like there's like a lot of noise, like stuff like that, like it hits the water and the waves go everywhere and like there's bells ringing and they have that right before they do it. There's like the old lady with the bottle of liquor or whatever and she smashes it on it. Those freak me out. What do they call it? Christening. Yeah. So for like an example, like if you search like a YouTube vid of like boat launches, like the big ones are, there's some that are mishaps and some that are normal, but like even the normal ones freak me out and I don't know why.
Look, Dane, if you want to bring it up on the shared screen, look up ship launch. And the first one, 10 awesome waves, fails and close calls.
Yeah.
YouTube or what?
Yeah. And Luke, I've watched you watch those videos and I've seen you just like shuddering.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes me shiver.
You're not even physically there.
I know. And that's why I know it's a phobia because like the interesting thing is like people kind of use like fear and phobia like interchangeably, those terms a lot of times. But like a fear is like something like in the moment, like, oh, I'm driving through with this dangerous thunderstorm or whatever. and you're afraid of it. But like a phobia is like having an irrational fear reaction when the danger is not even like there or imminent. And so like, yeah, when I watch those those boat launch videos, like it makes me like shiver. It gives me what I would imagine that some people get when they see a picture of like a spider or something, and they're like afraid of spiders, and they have that reaction. Yeah, I don't like looking at it, but I would if Dane found one, I would yeah.
I have so many questions.
Okay, yeah.
Are you afraid to be like on the boat when it happens? Are you afraid to be like crushed by the boat, or are you just afraid to like see it happen? Like it just
yeah, just seeing it like happen. Like I won't even like looking at it.
There's not people on the boat when they do that, right?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess
no,
I don't
there's
know.
no way. There's no way. That'd be fucking retarded. All right, here we go.
Luke, do you cry whenever you listen to the Edmund Fitzgerald?
I have before.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, I hate it, dude. I hate it. I can't like.
And that was a smooth one.
Yeah. There's no, and I can't hear the sound, which is helping. I think the sound. Oof.
Okay, I gotta find one that's like a fail one.
So Luke, I know
completely.
Psychologists work through people's phobias by talking about it and then showing a picture of it, and then bringing a spider into the room or something like that. Like, do you have any plans to work through this phobia, or is it just something that you laugh about and live with?
I think it's kind of funny because I don't understand where it comes from. like I've never had a bad experience with like a big sorry, I just got distracted by the video. Oh my god. Yeah, I've never had a bad experience. Dude, like I'm having trouble talking right now. It sucks. Yeah.
Well, it's weird because like that one is so high above the water, and like it's a I don't know, physics. It doesn't look like it should ever work.
No, and the sounds of it too, like the sounds, like it's a little better without the sound, but I still don't like looking at it because I'm just like the sound that I can't hear. I know what it sounds like, so my brain is like making the sounds in my head. And
speaking of sounds, were you guys hearing that music?
No.
Okay, good. All right. I have a question. You're just afraid to watch it.
I'm afraid to afraid to watch it. Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't, which is why, and there's not a name for it. Like I've looked it up. I'm like,
why would there be a name to be afraid of ship launches?
Like, well, like, isn't there like
we're just gonna call it the Reingard phobia? All right, Bjorn, did you have a question?
Well, Luke, as far as the naming it goes, you could probably name it. You could come up with a name.
I probably could. Yeah.
There's names for lots of phobias, like you're saying. What's the one where you're afraid? The anatidophobia, is that what it's called? No, it's longer than that. It's a huge long word, and it's like the fear of a duck looking at you.
What? Really?
Yeah, you have like a phobia that somehow, somewhere, a duck is watching you.
Yeah, like
I have a name for that. It's just a mental illness.
You're not wrong.
Like, I think. Oh, he's back. Okay, Luke froze for a minute. But yeah, Bjorn, do you have a phobia?
I was just talking to Destiny about it, like swimming in water. Like we were talking about diving. She's like, wouldn't it be scary if you were diving somewhere and you found a dead body? I'm like, pretty much if you're diving and you find anything, it's terrifying. Like I've seen where there's a lake and there's a statue of Jason Voorhees like in the water. And I've seen like statues of sharks in water too. And like it's just, I don't know. Even swimming in a pool as a kid, I was always afraid of sharks. It makes no sense at all. I know it's a chlorinated pool. It's like it's just a weird phobia, like a feeling, like I just didn't like it.
Mine is being eaten alive.
Yeah, that one.
By like a by like a shark or a bear or an alligator. Really specifically those three. And I don't know why. I kind of do know why, I think. Because I've been thinking about this a lot lately for some reason. But some of my favorite movies growing up was like Lake Placid, Deep Blue Sea, and The Edge.
Favorite movies?
When I was a young kid, yeah, I would watch those three quite often.
You used to like the idea of getting eaten alive?
Like no, but I watched it a lot. And that kind of makes sense. Now I'm afraid of being eaten alive.
Yeah.
But why wouldn't you be afraid of that? That makes sense. Watching ship launches does not make sense.
No, it does not make sense.
Which of those things are you more likely to come in contact with, though, Dane?
A bear, an alligator, for sure.
You're more likely to get eaten alive than to watch a ship launch.
Maybe not eaten, but like to run into a bear or run into an alligator. I've seen bears. I've seen alligators. I've never seen a ship launch.
But if you hung out in Duluth long enough, you would. Some of those.
But I'm not in Duluth.
What? Hagen is.
I mean, if I went to where I knew a ship launch was going to be, then I would witness one, but I'm never going to, like, I've never randomly seen one. Like, I've seen bears run across the road before.
Did you get afraid?
No, I was in the car.
I would probably, just my luck, I would probably stumble across a ship launch randomly. It would just be my luck. I'd be like in some, like up in Duluth or like, somewhere around the ocean or something, and just be like going in the bars and come and be like, oh, I wonder what's around this corner. All of a sudden, just
wouldn't it be funny?
Just run away.
You came around the corner and you just like hear somebody behind you, like, he's here. Do it now.
Yeah. And that boat launch one, it's always just been kind of a puzzle to me why I have that reaction to that. So I think it was kind of an interesting thing to bring up, just because I don't think anyone else has that. I guess my only other things like heights, that's a pretty normal one. I've grown more scared of heights the older I've gotten. I think that's just age, because like when I was young, I would like climb trees and like grain bins and windmills and like whatever at that time. But I don't know if it's just because like you get older and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, this could kill me if I fall. Dane, I know you're not scared of heights. Like you told me about stuff you've climbed before. like a pretty older age, I guess, but not really older. But like I think, like, haven't you climbed like some pretty high things?
You climbed the church. Manual.
Yeah, dude, there's scaffolding up there, and me and my buddy were drinking and just walking around Forest City, and so we climbed up on the roof, and then the church is like in the form of a cross, and where the shingles are, right in the corner of it, you can get your hands in between them. Like there's just a few inches. So we did that. We went all the way up, and all the way back down where there's not like a landing or scaffolding or anything to get down. And we went and there, I don't know how to explain it. But it's like a castle, like, you know, the castle walls where people shoot arrows out of or whatever. It kind of looked like that. And we just sat on top of that for a while. And then we went back and I was climbing back up it. And I was like straddling the point of it. And all of a sudden I sobered up a little bit and I started going like, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I up here? And I didn't freak out until that point, but I'm still alive. It was funny. Like, I never used to be afraid of flying at all, but now that I have a family, I just hate it.
Yeah, I don't like flying, like, just because of the comfort factor for me being really tall, but like
I mean, it never made me nervous or anything like that. And I think it's because before I had a family, I just didn't care if I died, kind of.
Yep.
You know, because the job that I had, I could have died. So you just had to accept that was a possibility, and you just got really used to it. But once I got out and I wasn't doing that anymore and having kids and my wife and now going places that I haven't flown for a long time, but now I'm a little more nervous about it, I guess.
Yep. Like I'll wear life jackets on boats more.
In planes.
In planes. Yeah, I wear the first thing I do is I put the life jacket on when I get into the plane.
Your carry-on's a parachute.
Isn't your seat, the seat cushion, your life preserver in an airplane?
I don't think so. It's like underneath the it's like underneath float. Yeah, okay. I'm sure that they do, but it's like a yellow, this little yellow thing. It's supposed to like blow up on its own when you pull a cord, or else you can blow it up manually too, or whatever. It looks tiny.
And I was gonna say, if that's the seat cushion, maybe that's why you're uncomfortable on the plane instead of being tall. You're just
yeah.
All right. Anyways, let's switch directions. Or did you
hold on?
That was
as a kid, I had the opposite of the fear of heights. Like, I was afraid of being in buildings with super tall ceilings, like some churches, or scare the shit out of me because I'd be standing there and looking up, and it almost felt like if gravity turned off, like I would just like, you know, if everything turned upside down. I don't know. It was like this. It was like the fear of heights, but like I said, the opposite. It was weird.
That's kind of weird. But I mean, if gravity turned off, it's not like all of a sudden you'd fly up to the ceiling.
You might.
Why? The gravity would have to switch and be on top of you now.
I don't make the rules, Dane. Do I look like Isaac Newton?
Kind of.
Well, now that you say, yeah.
All right, you guys want to watch a quick video?
Sure.
Yeah. This one?
Huh?
Will there be sound to this one?
No.
Okay. Oh.
Joe Biden falling on his bike.
Did he? Yeah. What was he doing there? Did he just like stop and like? Did he have like God, what are those things?
Dementia?
Like, no, but like it looked like he just like stopped and he didn't even like move his feet, and then he just fell over. Like, what?
Well, who took his training wheels off?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. He did jump. He jumped right up and he was fine, but it's like he fell over and he wasn't even doing anything.
You never forget, or like anything. They're like, oh, it's just like riding a bike. What are they going to say now whenever it has something to do with Joe Biden doing something? It's like, oh yeah, it's just like riding a bike.
Never forget. That's great.
Like, it's a great metaphor for the way he's doing things.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good segue. The way he's doing things. Did you guys hear that there's gas stations up in Washington, at least just in Washington? I don't know if other places are doing it, but they're changing the signs, like the price signs for gas, so it can be double digits, meaning $10 and higher for a gallon of gas.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So that means that they're anticipating that that's going to be a very, very high possibility if they're going through the trouble of doing that.
Yes. I wonder how much that costs. I mean, it doesn't seem like it can be that hard, but like the digital ones would probably be more difficult, right? But yeah, gas prices here are almost $5. I think the average is like 480, like the average in America, and there's no reason to believe that's going to go down whatsoever.
Nope.
And this is because of Ukraine and Putin, right?
Dude, that makes me so fucking mad that people are even trying to say that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we've had inflation for years and years and years. And I think this is very important for people to understand, because if we never understand it, they're going to turn around and blame something that's not the actual cause of it. Like it truly is the government's fault that we're going through this and the inflation and everything. And the prices aren't rising. It's that the dollar just doesn't buy anything anymore. Like in the last 50 years, they've killed over 90% of the dollar. And then people are going to be confused about why it's happening. Like inflation means that there's more money created. It's not that prices are going up. So what we're seeing isn't inflation, it's the repercussions of it. So don't let them turn around and blame big corporations or fucking Putin for one war when we've been killing people all over the world, starting as many wars as we want to. And like, no, it's their fault. It's the politicians' fault. It's the government's fault. And it's going to get worse. And not only that, but they shut down the country for 2 years and just handed out checks. I knew it was over 40%, but Eric July recently said it was 40 to 60% of all the US dollar in existence today was created in the last 2-3 years. That's fucking outrageous. That means like when everything settles down, everything will be twice as expensive because they're just killing the value of the dollar. And that doesn't hurt them whatsoever. People like you and me are the ones that are gonna feel it.
I just got back from a 10-day vacation, right? Didn't do anything too extravagant, just kind of did our normal going out to eat, go to a brewery, buy some things for the kids. I know gas alone on that trip, it was over $250 just spent on gas for the car. And I don't even want to say how much I spent on the trip, but it was well over $1,000 on other stuff, well over. And that's just normal things that we usually do on vacations. And a couple years ago, I bet it wouldn't even have cost $1,000 to buy all the stuff that we bought
all together.
Yeah,
they're trying to say it's only 8.6% or something crazy like that, and that's no, dude. You see prices in certain things that are over double. And I don't know. I can't buy a gallon of milk for under $5.
Yep.
How are you feeling this, Bjorn?
I don't know. I guess I can't think of anything particular that's more expensive that I've come across, but my father-in-law was talking about coffee being ridiculously expensive. I think even just for a small of it, I think he's up for $18 or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Food Pride or whatever, which I know is more expensive anyways, but he said a few weeks ago it would have been $10 and it's gone up that much.
Have you looked at beef prices lately?
I haven't. No.
That shit's outrageous too, man.
Yep.
Looking at some steaks and it's like $15 a pound. It's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. At the grocery store up in Minnesota that we were at, last leg of our trip, the final 3 days, we went and got supplies for just the final 3 days. Steak was one of them, and we got these little it's like the eye round steaks or something, and I think that was a cheaper steak, and that was like $9 a pound, something like that. and we opted for the cheaper steaks because the prices are insane. And milk too, like you said, $5 a gallon, yeah, it's crazy. And yeah, like you say, because of Putin. Come on.
I swear
I hate it when people say that.
They'll say anything just to get us to hate him more, so then we're more willing to support the war against him.
Yep.
And not to jump into any of that, because that'd be a long, complicated conversation. But,
yep.
I mean, it's like we're definitely the aggressors in basically any interaction overseas, including Russia, in a roundabout way. But
yeah.
Anyways, Bjorn.
Well, I think we all just need to protest the prices by stop eating and stop going.
Did you see the World Economic Forum said something about like in 2050 or whatever, we'll be eating a lot of bugs?
I have seen the bug eating thing brought up in several places. Several different articles. Yeah.
We're about to buy a bunch of chickens.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Butcher them, and we just butchered a pig. No, we're not getting eggs. We're just gonna feed them until we can kill them. And
okay.
So we did that with a pig. We're gonna do it. We're gonna get like a half a cow as soon as we can. Trying to fight that inflation now before I can't buy gas to go to work.
Right.
Yeah, I might have to buy a bike so I can ride that shit.
You'll just drive there on Friday and stay till Monday and just camp out in the parking lot.
Ride my bike to work and just hang out there for 3 days. Anyways, I'm gonna stop this and restart because we're about to get booted. So stay tuned for No Pilot. The pilot, No Pilot 2.0. Okay, I guess you guys will get another email here in a minute.
Okay.
Can't wait. Do that.
Oh, there you are.
I'll have to get a cooler background.
For sure. Try to get a cooler face too.
Yeah. I'm working on it.
We need some better lighting too.
Yeah. I don't have a good setup right now, but I'll figure that out as well as it goes.
It's fine. Nobody watching cares about this. Bjorn, you want to jump into your topic?
Oh, is it recording? I didn't even know. Okay. You edit that out.
No.
Well, yeah, the things that I'm wanting to cover, because we had kind of talked about different things that interest us or whatever, and I always really like talking about dreams and like the meaning of life, and I don't know about paranormal stuff, but just weird things and consciousness, and open to talking about God and things like that without being religious or too spiritual, but just I like to investigate that kind of stuff and talk about it, do different just mind exercises or thought experiments. So the one thing with the new baby is like I kind of figured a lot of people are obsessed with when you die, what happens, where you go, like, what the afterlife is. But holding my baby today, I was just thinking, like, where do we come from? And I know that's like a weird question that a lot of kids ask. And I think, I don't think a lot of thought goes into it, but like, where do we come from? It's a weird freaking idea. And consciousness, like, I don't know if you want to go into like abortion and that argument of when life starts, but like, when does consciousness start? And like, is it awareness of your surroundings? Is it being aware of yourself? Like, what is consciousness? And like, how does it get instilled into a baby? Like, it's not, obviously it's not when the sperm meets the egg, boom, consciousness. Like, I know people argue that is the moment when life, conception or whatever, but like,
what if they are conscious right away?
It's possible.
And we just don't remember. Well, and we like fully experience growing from nothing.
Maybe. And then your brain just, because it's so traumatic.
I'm just kidding.
Isn't there some people who actually like swear they remember being born? Like, isn't there some people out there that say that?
I don't know, dude. That sounds as ridiculous as being afraid of boat launches.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure that there's some people that say they remember that. But
I think that you could probably remember that, quote unquote, remember that from people telling you the experience so much that you just believe that you remember it, because you can misremember things all the time too.
Yep.
Or maybe it's just like they got stuck in a sweater when they were putting it on and they're just like, holy crap, that feels like I was just born.
Yeah.
Like, I bet it's exactly like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, there's no way to really test it, or I don't know. There's no way to figure it out. But I'm surprised that there's not experiments to determine when consciousness starts that I'm aware of. I haven't found any. Not that I've dove real hard into it, but and what we tell kids about where you come from. Have you guys had the birds and the bees talks with your kids? Like, has that come up at all?
Not really. At this age, I guess, but like it's funny though, you say you'd think about like where you come from and stuff, but like there's been a couple times like where Lucy has asked me if like why am I, like basically what you're saying, like why am I here, how can I see and like feel and touch things, like just being like, wow, this is weird. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So like that has come up with her. She's 9, so I mean, I think that's kind of cool that she's thinking about that, because it is an amazing thing. Like, it doesn't make sense. And like you said, you think about it, like sometimes I like think about it, I'll just be sitting there and like, wow, like this is freaking awesome. I'm looking at this giant mountain range and taking it all in, and it's just, here I am, my consciousness taking it in. It's just amazing. So no, I think it's a good topic that you brought up there. Very interesting to think about. And we could go on with that for a long time, I think.
Well, and honestly, that's something I'd like to come back to throughout the podcast. Like, I think it's something that interests me.
Yeah.
I came across mysteries of existence, or 2 mysteries of the universe or something. Like existence, like, why does the universe exist whenever it's just as likely that nothing would exist? And then the second one was like, why are we conscious to observe it? Like, how is that a thing? Because I guess nobody was conscious. It was just a bunch of deer and rabbits and bugs, like, that were not aware that the world was there. Like, what would be the point of it? And the video that I was watching was talking about how consciousness is kind of the way existence is witnessed. And I forget, botched that a little bit, but I thought that was kind of cool. Like we are the witnesses to reality, and without consciousness, there'd be no freaking point. And I think that's a good argument for God or the existence of God, whatever you want. Because I think sometimes I think of God as like a collective consciousness, not just a gray-haired old man pulling levers up in the clouds.
Are you a level 99 in Diablo?
No, I'm not. I got
Okay.
the Xbox. That was like an achievement saying like to get to level 99, you have to have 10 billion experience points or whatever.
Okay. Anyways, sorry, that just blew my mind more than the topic. But I guess the only thing I would say about that is I guess I haven't spent much time wondering how God does the things that he does. So I don't know if I can really add anything to your point. It would be very interesting getting into. Yeah, I can't really add to it because I don't think I've ever really thought about
it. I think it's a good thing to think about. And I don't like when people just dismiss it as like, oh, it's God. Like, okay, just say it's magic. Like that doesn't explain anything. Like, but it's the same thing as like, I think science is like the religion of measurement and observation is what I came up with today. So I don't like when things are just explained by religion or just explained through science without any thoughts or feelings into, how things are. So that's what I got.
At the beginning at the beginning of this, you said your topic was fatherhood.
Yeah, but like the baby being born, like whenever I looked at my pregnant wife, her belly, like I know that there was a baby in there, but like at the same time, I was like, is it just tacos? Like, is it really a baby? I don't know. It's just amazing. It's so amazing that like I don't believe it.
It is really cool to go through, especially when it's kicking all over the place, and you're like,
yeah. So I'm busy trying to figure out how to hold the baby, or like how to change the baby and like where to hold the legs and what to do. And it's so foreign to me. Like, I mean, it's not impossible to do, but it's just funny. Like you have to try to train your body to be dexterous and do things that you're not used to doing.
You know what's foreign to me about this whole situation is seeing you love somebody.
I'm sorry that I never loved you.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. It's very cool to see you with your daughter, though. It is very cool. It makes me very happy.
Well, that's good. I do have a couple segues with this topic, though, because like I've been so tired with my job, getting up at 4 a.m. to get to work and waking up. Thankfully, Destiny's been doing probably more than her fair share of the feeding and changing and stuff like that. But we got to wake up every freaking 3 hours to go wake up the baby, change the diaper, feed the baby. And then like in a couple more hours from that, we got to do it all over again. And it freaks me out whenever I hear the baby gurgle or, like make a sound. Like I get up and I go look in the bassinet and like, okay, are you okay? Are you drowning in your own like vomit or anything like that? Or, are you still breathing? Or just freaks me out. So, but like, oh, were you gonna say something?
I was gonna say, I always described it to people as like you're just constantly saving someone's life multiple times a day. like we're heroes. Like, and it doesn't make the papers, but no, I get that.
But so, like,
it slows down, but
like I hallucinate. I've been hallucinating. And I wake up in the middle of the night thinking that the baby's in the bed with me. And like I'm looking for the baby in the sheets and the cupboard.
I've done that, yeah.
Like I grab I've walked out of the bedroom holding a pillow, thinking it's the baby.
And I don't think I've done that.
Yeah, and like no, and then I look in the bassinet, and because the bassinet's out in the living room right now, but it's just like, okay, it's not the baby, go back to bed. And like I've woken up and like the seam of the pillow I thought was like her fingers and her hand. And like I'm feeling around in it. and I've woken up and looked over in the covers and seen the baby's face. And I had to like touch it and be like, that's not a baby. That's a blanket. Like my brain is just playing the weirdest tricks on me. And it doesn't take me long to snap out of it, but it's like borderline, like almost sleepwalking, but I'm awake. But it's just like my perception is just totally fucked. And it makes me kind of think of your, it's not night terrors. What are the things that you have?
Sleep paralysis. I haven't had it for a while. It hasn't happened, but yeah, yep.
It's like you're aware, you're awake, you're sleeping, and it's like this weird mesh where reality is not what it seems. That has never happened to me like that, because your stuff sounds terrifying.
Yeah, it's pretty scary. When I'm glad it hasn't happened for a long time, but
can you kind of explain what happens when it does?
Yeah, so sleep paralysis is basically like, if I remember right, it's when you're kind of almost at the point of like, what is it, the REM sleep or whatever, and you wake up, you open your eyes, but you can't move, but you can like see things like around the room, and sometimes for me, I would get like, I would hear like whispers in my ear. Things would whisper in my ear. I've heard dogs. I've felt dogs running across my bed before, but they weren't there.
When you shadow people like floating and stuff.
Yeah, there's like, sometimes there'd be a shadow person in the corner of my room and sometimes not. I've also had sleep paralysis where
a shadow person in the corner of your room. Did it ever move? Was it completely like featureless, just a shadow?
Featureless, yeah, like a presence. And it would
be like, feel a presence, or did you just see it?
Yeah, feel the presence, like, yeah, for sure.
I don't like that.
What's that?
I don't like that. The rest of what you were saying was making me laugh, but not that part. That part's scary.
Yeah, that part was scary. And there were other times like where I would get the sensation of floating out of my bed. I would feel my body leave the bed and the covers. I would feel like me slipping out of the covers, and I would float into various places of my room. And like, the weirdest thing of it is like, if I left like a pop can or something like there, I would see that pop can, like it would, like the room would be exactly the same. And yeah, it's a weird phenomenon, like and it's a real thing too. Like when it started happening to me, I looked it up and it made it so it wasn't that scary to me, actually. Like it's scary, but like I know what's happening, and sometimes I could snap out of it, other times not. But it hasn't happened to me for a while, and a lot of times it happens to you when you're in like times of stress, and like where, like, you know, if you're like working a lot or something. And I guess when it did happen to me, like my job was pretty stressful at that time, so
that's crazy.
Yeah.
At least you can figure out like what it was, because can you imagine if this pretty like 200 years ago? I'm sure it used to, but like if they just think it's demons and ghosts that are like coming after them or whatever, like they have no explanation.
Well, people you describe it as that. Yeah, like
I was just gonna say, maybe it actually is, but people like doctors, science, whatever, scientists are coming up with an explanation for it and making it sound like they have a reason for it, but maybe it is just demons.
There you go, Luke, sleep tight.
Yeah. One thing that would happen to me would or that didn't happen to me as part of the sleep paralysis that a lot of people would report was like the feeling of pressure of someone sitting on your chest, and that never really happened to me. So I'm glad that didn't happen as a part of it.
Sounds like COVID.
You want to hear something hilarious that just happened to me the other night? What was it? Oh, it was last night. I got home from work. I was super fucking tired, and I was sitting on the couch and we were watching a movie, and I was like falling asleep and kind of waking up, and I was Jess was trying to talk to me, and I was saying something to her, and as I was talking, I was falling asleep. I don't remember what I said, but it started out normal, and then it just got incoherent. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't real words. And I heard myself say it, and I was like, what is happening? And she just died laughing. And she's like, it's so funny when you do that. And I was like, wait a minute, this has happened before.
That's good.
I've used to sleepwalk a lot. I talk in my sleep a lot. Told Jess the other night that I had to finish cutting up the pig and getting in the freezer. Well, I mean, me and my buddy were doing that, but it's just funny that that's what was on my mind when I was going to sleep.
When you got back from Iraq, didn't you wake up looking for your rifle a few times?
Yeah. And then I would constantly, and this still happens, but like when I wake up or I'm dead asleep, and then in my mind, it's just like I'm falling, or I trip on something, or I'm not even like aware of what I'm thinking. And I jump so hard, I wake up. Like it wakes me up, and sometimes it wakes Jess up.
Yeah, that's the sleep stuff is really weird and interesting. Like Bjorn said, it's like almost sometimes like dreams and paranormal and consciousness. Like you spend a lot of your life sleeping, so it's crazy how much there is really around that.
Well, it's weird how some people don't dream.
Yeah.
I barely ever do.
Yeah, that's sad. Dreaming is the best part of my day. Maybe not now that I've got a baby, but
I would say dreams. I probably like I remember dreaming most every night, but lately there hasn't been any dreams of note where I'm like, oh, I got to tell, because if there's like a dream that is like really interesting, like I'll like text you about it, Bjorn, or something, a lot of times, and like you'll send me stuff once in a while about a crazy dream you had, but lately I haven't had any that were like super interesting. It's just pretty normal stuff, like, oh, I'm hanging out with, like, there's some guy from high school or something. So like, yeah,
I used to have nightmares, and so I'm okay with not having dreams.
Oh, you used to have like nightmares?
Yeah, I used to have this one like a recurring dream that this hasn't happened for a really long time, but it happened multiple times. It was like the devil, I don't know if it was a devil, like some demon or something would it's gonna be weird talking about, but he'd like take me to girls like homes or whatever, like somebody's house, and I would just be stuck in their closet, and you could like see through the closet, ones that aren't like fully closed doors, that have like the slots in them.
Yep.
And then I couldn't move, and I just had to watch him torture and kill them.
What? that would freak me out.
Yeah, and it wasn't like the same person that it happened to. It was always different people, but it was just something that I was constantly dreaming about, and I didn't like it.
So what? Like,
what'd you say?
Did you say it was? Oh yeah, go ahead, Bjorn.
It's terrible. That's horrible. It's awful.
Oh yeah.
So was it like people you knew, or was it like just random dream created people that it was happening to?
Yeah, nobody I knew.
That makes it a little better.
It's you and Bjorn just over and over again.
I heard that created people are actual people that you've seen in your day-to-day life. Like they may be people that you don't know or you've only seen once, but like when you see their face, like that's how your mind makes dreams. And I've also heard that like one side of your brain creates the dream while your other side of your brain like
experiences
it, which is just bananas. But that's why you can be surprised in your dream or like not know what's going to happen next, which is kind of cool. Your dreams sound scary, Dane. My dreams are usually I'm going camping with my buddies and we're drinking, we're looking for alcohol, and we're driving in some rough terrain, or I'm kayaking and finding money in the lake. Like those are my dreams.
Yeah.
Anyways, Dane, talk about your topic.
Me, I already did.
You did?
When? What gas prices, inflation.
Oh, I said you were going to talk about parenthood.
Well, I was going to until you brought it up, and then I was like, oh, well, now I have to change it. So I changed it. No, so Father's Day was just right around the corner. Right around the corner. It was a few days ago.
Yeah. Other corner.
The other corner. The backwards corner.
The back door corner.
Are you guys aware of the Art of Manliness?
I've seen their stuff a little bit.
No, I've not heard of it.
They do a podcast and they have a bunch of articles, and they have some really good articles. And there's different topics, obviously, but just some about like working out to parenting to like basic skills, like manly skills, whatever you want to say, and then style and stuff like that. But there's an article with like 100 quotes. I had a few. Let me find them. Every father should remember one day his son will follow his example, not his advice. That's from Charles Kettering. I don't know who that is, but you guys have any thoughts on that?
I think it comes down to monkey see, monkey do a little bit, you know, like I think your kids definitely emulate you. And yeah, lead by example. Like they'll see what you do, and actions speak louder than words, to use all the cliche stuff.
Mm-hmm. So one thing that happens with me, sometimes like I get mad and yell at my kids. I know none of you guys do that, but it happens. And then then
2-week-old baby.
Right, but so Thor will sometimes get mad and yell at Harps, and then I yell at him to not yell at her and talk to her like that. And it's just like, man, he's just doing it because I do it. You know what I mean? Like, this is 100% my fault and my doing. So like when I'm mad, I have to figure out a different way to talk to him so that there's not like yelling in our life, especially when they're taking that and turning around and doing it to each other.
And when they do it in the same way, like, and they use even some of the same terminologies sometimes as when you're yelling, like, and you're like, oh no, yeah, like I totally totally get it. Because I have the same thoughts like with Lucy and Cora. I'm getting better at it, but being more calm with stuff. But yeah, that's something I try to watch for sure. Can't always be avoided depending on what's going down, but
right. I mean, like sometimes you have to yell at them.
Yup.
If it's just to get their attention so they don't hurt themselves or whatever. But another thing to think about is that it's not just how you sound, but it's what you say. And I don't think anybody really understands how much your words actually affect other people. Yeah, and especially your kids. I mean, if you tell your kid, like when he's older, if you tell them that they're going to be drunk, just like their dad, they're probably going to be a drunk when they get older. You know what I mean? And like, that's a very specific example that I have of somebody that I know in my own life. But, and yeah, dude, if like they take it, you don't know how they're like taking everything that you say. And then if you, I don't know, you can ruin their fucking life by the way that you speak to your kids and what you tell them.
Quick side note. I think it's worth mentioning that goes for how you speak to yourself too. Like your thoughts or your self-talk. Like,
yeah, 100%.
The things you say or the things you think like really matter too.
So, we do have to get out of here. That's my bit of good advice, I guess. I'll count that as that. But does anybody else have a good life advice before we head out of here? Not to throw you on the spot, but
no.
no. Well, no, here. Sorry to do that. I'll just ask you. This is probably doing the same thing again, but Luke, what is the meaning of life?
The meaning of life. Lately, I've just thought, just trying to find some enjoyment in it, and like not thinking too hard about what you're doing that you and your family really enjoy, just in the moment. So I think the meaning of life is right now for me is just trying to live in the moment when I can, and just have those make those like fun memories. So, after coming off that vacation, that's just kind of my mindset right now about that. So
awesome. Bjorn, you got any?
I was gonna say, I think life is gratitude, and I think that's pretty much what Luke just said. So just being thankful, appreciating who you have and what you have. I think that's what it's all about, really. So meaning of life right there.
Cool. I would say, and I've thought about this a lot, I think me and you did a podcast on it months and months ago. You remember that? What is he?
Because I said there was no meaning to life.
Well, who's that guy? Yeah. Anyways, I would say that the meaning of life is to live a meaningful life. And with that, we'll see you next week.
Hey, don't let me forget, on Tuesday I can wear pants.